This is the Oddball Show, a podcasting collaboration with JP Live Productions and Oddball Magazine.
Good evening and mene wishone, my friends. This is indeed the Oddball Show. My name is Prof, licensed lion tamer for this podcast, and I represent that mythical hip-hop beast known as JP Lime. On tonight's show, we welcome the return of a talented and quirky MC, and we celebrate the preliminary victory this weekend in the fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline. But before we get to any of that, my darling cherubs, let's meet the Oddballs. Joining us tonight from the far reaches of the multiverse, 160-degree angle of the JP Lime Triangle, my brother since 7th grade music, please welcome Spaceman.
Took it back. What's cracking, folks?
Welcome. Thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks for having me, yo. Good to be here.
It's gonna be a good lively conversation. Our pre-show convo was already jumping, so we have a lot of opinions here on this show tonight. It's gonna be fun. Cool. The man who lives by the motto of "the pen is mightier," the originator and progenitor of Oddballism, editor-in-chief of Oddball Magazine, Mr. Jason Wright.
Yep.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's not bad. The pen is mightier.
The pen is mightier. Schwartz.
Your mother, Trebek.
Well, welcome, buddy. Thanks for being on the show tonight.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to be here again. Today we have Jus Enuf on the program.
That's true. Yeah.
Very excited to have him back. He was on a while back ago promoting some stuff, his music, and as a little project he was doing called "What Do You Think," which Oddball picked up, and it was running great. And now he has to come back. So what's up, man? Welcome back to the Oddball Show.
Our guest tonight is no mere MC. An old school soul went on the mic. His artistic stylings extend behind the camera with his off-the-cut production video series, which we'll talk about tonight. Once described as the love child of Shock G and Ilana Glazer, he's a purist of the technological age, a man of many talents and even more names. Please welcome Jus Enuf.
What up? Thank you. All right.
What's up, brother? Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah,
so we got a lot to talk about on the show tonight, and you got a lot going on. So, where you guys want to kick it off?
Well, I don't know. We were talking earlier about the Dakota Access Pipeline, but because that is a very big victory, and I think we could maybe sideline that just for now because it's such a big topic, it's such a interesting thing that we want to talk about.
Really is. It's huge.
And Park, you wrote that whole article that was, I blew it up on our Instagram because it was so good.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was really, my poor wife, it was all I could think about or talk about last 2 weeks. And it's been obviously going on all year, but I just been immersed in it. And Twitter is like a drug for that. Like it's just instant information when it's available. So it's, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, it was a great thing to be able to watch in live and live in color. So, we put a piece up on Friday about it, and a lot went on this weekend. So, we'll definitely talk about all of that stuff and what it means going forward in just a little bit. Definitely.
But first off, Jus, who goes by the name Jus Enuf, who now he changed his name on Facebook because of what was that? A video you were working on or something?
Yeah. We did a sketch, and part of the sketch was creating a Facebook event, and I changed my name. Found out later that the name that I chose was some murderer from years ago.
Oh no!
And, so I found out that Facebook doesn't allow you to change your name more than once for 60 days. So I got some murderer's name for 2 months. But
what's your name on Facebook again?
Henderson Lloyd.
Where did you come up with that? And then you're like,
we were just spitballing ideas, man. It was weird because we were gonna do another sketch, but one of our actor buddies kind of had to cancel. He was sick, so we just kind of spitballed this idea, and it ended up kind of coming out pretty good. I think it's one of our strongest sketches.
But I
was going to change my name to Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's already been taken.
I mean, it is a killer name, though. It is
What, Benedict Cumberbatch?
Ah.
Oh, it's a killer name. I get it. Oh, you're really murdering the competition with your name.
Oh, yikes.
Totally hacking up, killing people. Just
Well,
slicing
All right, yo.
throats.
Speaking of killers, can I ask the question in the room?
yes,
Yeah.
please.
My man, when you were shooting that video in the tunnel,
Yeah,
chasing the shorty, first of all, what was going through your mind? And second of all, like, did they call the cops on you? Like, did you cause an accident? What was
yeah, were you walking down I-93 in a not a ski mask, in a screen mask?
You guys are talking about the shadow persona?
Shadow Persona. Yeah, so let's frame it up a little bit.
Shadow
On
Persona.
Off the Cup Productions, we'll be putting everything in our links tonight, so you'll be able to find all the info. But Off the Cup Productions is a venue of, or an avenue of Justs, and the whole video series, and the one we're talking about now is called Shadow Persona.
Yeah,
Shadow Persona.
Shadow Persona is actually part of another web series that I've been doing with a couple of friends, more like short film, kind of absurd, surreal stuff. And we shot that all in one day, and it was for a horror submission for CCTV. And we had to do it in like 10 days. We had to shoot it, edit it, and all that. And it was supposed to play kind of like a dream. And it's open to interpretation, but it was definitely, that was fun, man. I mean, my whole thing is like kind of pushing the limits of stuff and going in there and getting that sound of just the cars whizzing by, and like it was just really kind of surreal.
What you do with Off the Cuff a lot. Off the Cuff is cerebral at best, I would say, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's it's a couple things that I watched that I got a kick out of. I mean, there's a couple that I've watched before that were really good, but the one that you recently filmed, where you were having a party and only dudes showed up, and like you all got stoned, and then like you go and each person goes into the bathroom individually, and like you hear the inner monologue, and he's like, dude, I'm so messed up right now. All right, just play it cool. What's going on? Who are all these people? All right. Yeah, it looks like Shelly ain't coming, or whoever her name is. Looks like she ain't coming, but all right. So all right, I gotta do something. And he gets back in, he's like, yo, what's up? And then the next dude's like, hey, do you mind if I use the bathroom? He's like, oh man, this stuff is really strong. I don't know what I'm doing. So it's all inner monologue, which I thought was really cool because, I mean, I think that's really dope. That's something different that you were doing that you haven't done so far. With what you were doing with Steve Warren, that was definitely artistic and really definitely super cerebral and artsy and stuff with dope music and stuff. First of all, before we get on to Off the Cuff, did you produce the music for all of What Do You Think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've been getting into more recently, music-wise, is doing scores and stuff. That's really kind of fun, and I kind of like creating soundscapes. I'm kind of an amateur producer as far as making beats and stuff. I started making beats to just figure out how to better communicate with my producer and my engineer, because I used to have headbutton matches because I wouldn't know what a snare was or a kick drum was. So, now with that knowledge, I can go in the studio and say, yo, this is exactly what I want. And me and John Glass, who I work with a lot, he works with a lot of heads. He's a dope producer. Yeah. And we just, we got this real kind of good chemistry now where we go in there and it's just like, it's like clockwork. It's so easy,
Yeah. I also got to say, I know we're jumping around and stuff, but I got to say.
We are collectively.
I had too much coffee, all right?
The show is brought to you by coffee.
My show runs on Duncan. Colgan was having coffee earlier. I'm having coffee. I don't know.
I'm having coffee.
Yeah, you're drinking coffee.
I'm having beer.
Nice.
It's coffee hour. Anyway, I was just I'm gonna dial it down and let you guys steer the conversation. But real quick, the director, the video you did for Fungo, what was it?
Fungorum. Fungorum. They're a dope, kind of like heavy doom, kind of like stoner metal band. They're really dope.
Yeah, but the directing that you did for this video is really pretty cool.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
really thought that a lot of cuts and stuff, and a lot of old vintage films and stuff, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it's really interesting. There was a part where you like these soldiers are like doing these dances, and it goes perfectly with the drums and stuff.
Oh, word.
It's pretty cool. So, I mean, I guess the question is, I mean, you're on your grind constantly. How do you have time to? I mean, how many projects are you working on right now?
I like to keep 2 or 3 going, and but I've kind of had this trouble of spreading myself too thin, and but I like to keep the variety because you guys know you work on something for so long, you start to get tunnel vision, and it's hard to like it's hard to it's nice to take a step back, jump into something else, feel that creativeness because they all feed each other, and so I mean I'm sorry, what?
Oh, not a question. Hopefully, leads you back to that. You finish your statement though.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing a lot of collaborations. I've been doing a lot of photography as well, and I just really like doing things with people. I mean, I did a lot of solo stuff, and like it's just so much better creating with other heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What about it? If you ever want to do some photography, you want to let me know. I definitely venture into the alley myself.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because doing the music so long with JP Lime, like you definitely want to try something different. But even trying something different, like you want to gain more skills because it all adds to the pot. You know what I'm saying? Like you might go do something different.
Totally.
But you'll see what adds to it. To that question, what I have for you, like, what is your inspiration? Because watching your different things, like you can see you definitely have like an eclectic spirit, but also like one that definitely tries to explore boundaries. So like, what do you vibe off of like when you're trying to get that inspiration?
I mean, there was a time period where I was very spacey, I was really into occult stuff and like mysticism and philosophy, and I've been really trying to get a little more grounded, but I've just been kind of, I don't know, man. I mean, I listen to a lot of different types of music, like, but I mean, I think mainly right now what I've been kind of vibing off of is like old movies, kind of horror movies, and even old like French films and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of like, because I've really kind of been getting into that realm as far. I've been really wanting to do some directing.
Oh yeah.
Which you can see in that video that you directed.
Word, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. You can see there's some really vintage. As I said, vintage was the word. I mean, there's a lot of different cuts from all sorts of videos doing all sorts of things, and I don't know how to explain it. How can we see some of your stuff so our listeners can know, can also listen and see some of your stuff? Because the video doesn't. You got to go to the YouTube to check out this dude's video because it's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. So we got Off the Cuff Productions. If you type that into YouTube, that will be the first thing that pops up, and that's for all the comedy web series stuff. If you want to catch some of the more surreal films, I have this channel called Dreamt Days Off, and that's more like we got like we did this one where I dressed up as a mummy, and it's like the day in the life of a mummy. It's like he's an agoraphobic mummy, and he doesn't like leaving the house, and he leaves the house and he keeps on looking back at his crib, and he's like, damn, like. And we had some like old timey like 1930s music on there. It's just really kind of absurd. I really like the absurd, man, because I guess to answer your question better, I think dreamy things are really what I vibe off of.
Yeah.
Because dreams just work in symbols. It's all the subconscious. So that's really the most interesting thing to me is like dreams and absurd surrealism.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I just checked it out. Your YouTube channel is Dreamt Days Off, and you can go and check out that Shadow Persona video we were just talking about. And the video you were talking about, the mummy, is called Slightly Less Than Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And those look very. I'm gonna check those out. I mean, I already saw Shadow Persona, and it was interesting, definitely.
Yeah.
Let me ask this: just it's not your first foray into music videos. You said you're really into absurdism, and where do you start for a music video then? When where does that process start for you when you start designing a music video, given what you just said about, your particular style?
Totally. I think it's like mainly just recently what I've been trying to do is I got away from writing a lot. So mainly what I've been trying to do is before I even write, I'll think of like an environment or something or a feel. Because, I think we can all agree that music creates spaces,
Yeah.
So I try to just vibe off the music. And then, of course, it's just like lyrics. I'm a lyrics first kind of person. I've kind of always been that way. And so the lyrics really dictate to me what the narrative is going to be. So, yeah, I think mainly it's just about like where are these lyrics taking the song? I don't know if that answers your question, but
now, like,
well, yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say the style of this new video, Braille, and the last album you put out is just 90s hip hop.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
Now, why do you venture towards 90s hip hop?
I just feel like that was the golden age, and I love it seems like everyone in the 90s kind of had this, what a couple people refer to as like a vibey. It's very vibey. very, very, very feel music, Nowadays it's all this mumble stuff and it's like,
yep.
I don't know. It's just, I don't knock people for trying to do new things and stuff. But we were talking earlier about like Tribe and stuff, and their new record is completely evolved. But but you still feel that 90s feel, man. It's totally still there. It's just evolved. So
I think the lyrics are just way more political and kind of
totally. Yeah.
They're just they're not sunshine. They're not Tribe Called Quest vibe lyrics. They're more like political take action lyrics. And
absolutely, yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess if anyone was to meet you, Jus, I guess they would say that you have a vibe to you, which is exactly why Tribe Called Quest and 90s music complements you so well. Because you just you got vibes. You got vibes and stuff, bro.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Braille real quick, because that song is pretty dope.
Thank you, man.
Braille, words you can feel.
Oh yeah.
Is that part of? Is that a song by itself? Is that part of something a bigger album or?
Yeah, I got a record coming out. It's been like 3 years in the making, man. It's like I ventured far away from music, and I took like a year and a half off because these two bands I was in broke up, and I was trying to do the solo thing, keep it alive, and it was really tough. So I ventured into different things. And recently, with this election and other things, I've just been getting this real urge to get on the mic and say something because I feel like there's no better time to do it than now. And so, yeah, it's going to come off of this project, a self-titled project called Jus Enuf. Ladybug is on there, which is on my SoundCloud. And I got a couple other joints that no one's heard yet. I'm really trying to push it. I actually re-recorded a joint that I did like 2 years ago. I'm just really trying to polish it up and make sure that I put the best foot forward,
Yeah, right on. And did you do all your own beats, and did you do the beat for Braille?
No, so John Glass he's the man I go see. He's a shit, man. He just knows. Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like he's like he's like the Wizard of Oz. He can take what's in my brain and make it into something, and it's like I said, I'm an amateur producer as far as beats go. I usually go to him. I'll bring a sample. I'll bring a style of beat that we want to go with, and then it's just I like to focus mainly on the lyrics, man. 'Cause sometimes it takes me 2-3 months to write a song, if not a year, So, yeah, he makes all my beats though, Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That beat for Braille is real dope, and it is really what Jason was saying. Like 90s hip hop is totally what it feels like. So.
Yeah, it's a funny story about that. So I went in the studio with him, and I had this ill trombone record because at the time I was into all this, occult stuff and like astrology and all this other stuff. And trombone apparently is the instrument for Taurus, and I'm a Taurus. I'm a bullheaded dude. And so I brought this trombone record in there. and me and him were butting heads because I couldn't really explain what I wanted. And we were trying to find a sample, and as soon as we heard that sample, both of us just looked at each other. All the tension dissipated, and we were like, that's it. And we made the beat, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like the rest is history, they say.
That's so dope.
Yeah, it's good. It's cool.
Let's see here.
Well, hey, you guys want to try and get a little sample of the Braille before we get going?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. If you can bring it up. Yeah, let's get a little on-air sample of it.
Oh, right.
All right, let's see. This is what we have here is the we're going to try and play the Braille song, and I'm doing it different. So can you guys hear me good right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to try and play this. It's called Braille. It's off of Jus Enuf's new album. Is the album titled Jus, or is it just
Jus Enuf? Yeah, self-titled.
Jus Enuf, self-titled.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna play it. It might.
Just gotta bring out that old school fucking man. You know what I mean? Yo. Am I sleeping? Is this real? Or am I just stuck in a dream where I can feel the energies of people sitting next to me? When will I get to leave these parentheses and let my feathers catch a breeze? The message is my future self left for me, when written legibly. I've learned to read his words like a melody before I dissect the metaphors he said to me. Let's skip the pleasantries. I'm not the best MC, but I breathe each letter deep from my belly to pronounce my premise eloquently. Every now and again, my ego sneaks in. I suck a punch up embellished rhetoric. Should I edit it out or let it be one of the blemishes on my reflection? I'll take responsibility for my intelligence so I can circumvent my avatar's projections. Study your lessons, 'cause life's a blessing. What if everything was what it isn't? What if our existence was only a minute? Would you do nothing but think, or could you just live it? Would you just live it? What if everything was what it isn't? What if our existence was only a minute? Would you do nothing but think, or could you just live it? Would you just live it? If it's all in my head, then I get lost. Going for long walks, I try to recollect what I saw, but my desk is a mess. Nevertheless, whenever I stop and move back a few steps, I see things.
Dude, that was sick.
Word up.
That was sick. That was sick.
Yeah.
I love the beat. The beat is so awesome, man. I mean, the music goes so. I mean, I can just think of like 3 or 4 '90s
Nice
songs I can think of that sounds like that. I'm thinking like Arrested Development.
Yes.
Or like,
huge influence. Major influence.
Yeah. That is. That's
who else would you say are influences on you lyrically and or just musically?
I would say Souls of Mischief, specifically Tajay. He's like one of my favorite MCs. I like Common, Talib Kweli, Mos Def. This dude, the Grouch, who was part of Living Legends.
Yeah.
Slug is a major influence too, man. Like Atmosphere.
Yeah.
You like the same music I like, Jess. I think that's why we're friends, because Ryan Sayers and Stone Throw, Dilated Peoples, Grouch.
Right.
That's all. I mean, Living Legends. I mean, not to get off subject. Living Legends and Grouch are playing with Evidence and Murs and all those guys, because Murs is part of Living Legends. They're all in Las Vegas right now, going on tour.
Oh wow, that's
Can you imagine going to that show? It's like, it's called How the Grinch Stole whatever. I forgot what it is.
Oh shit!
How the Grouch Stole Christmas, because it's the Grouch.
Yeah,
So,
totally. Yeah.
if you want to hear a good album of the Grouch, you got to check out Say G&E. Grouch and Eli, those two work together a lot. But yeah, man, you can definitely hear the influence of these hip hop cats in your music. And the one thing I really like is it's all positive. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah.
Your first album, you can totally vibe to too. I got that in my car. I vibe to that.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be putting all the links to that track there on SoundCloud. In fact, I'm pretty sure I already put the video up from YouTube on the pertinent links so far. So we'll be adding all that shit tonight.
Cool.
To make sure that we can all get in touch with Jus Enuf. Social media wise, where do we get in touch with you? On Twitter, Instagram, and or Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. JUSENUF. Just Enough Letters to spell Just Enough. Instagram is Just Enough is Plenty. That's mostly like photographs and stuff like that. So if anyone wants to link up and do some photographs, check out my Instagram.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Groovy.
And your YouTube page is there was two of them.
Dreamt Days Off and Off the Cuff Productions. But so the Braille music video though, that's on my personal page. But if you type in Braille words you can feel, it'll pop up first thing.
Right on.
Yeah. And you can check out your SoundCloud too. And you go to Bandcamp, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
All JUSENUF.
Yeah, that's dope. I love that name, by the way.
Thank you, man. Yeah.
And so listeners, we have a lot of Just Enough. You can get him on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook as Just Enough, but you can also find him. You can friend him as some serial killer from back in the day.
Yikes.
But yeah, you can find him on Instagram and everything. He's all over the place.
Yeah. So we'll put all that up in the pertinent links. The Oddball Show is now on Facebook. I'm now on Facebook. It's now on iTunes. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
It's always been on Facebook.
Nice.
It's also now on iTunes. You can find us on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and then all the pertinent links will be on the two and on Stitcher now.
We're on Stitcher. Wow. We're on Stitcher.
And so this is broadcasting live through the miracle of modern technology on several different platforms at once.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
it's an amazing thing.
Yeah. You got the Oddball Show Universal right now.
Universally odd.
Universally odd. Hashtag
that.
Run with that. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So we're about halfway here. I think it's a pretty good time for us to chime in with a little what's going on in the Oddlime universe.
Oddlime universe. Marvelous.
I'm just dropping them right now. Hashtag.
I like it.
But yeah, let's do a little what's going on, and then we'll come back in the second half, and we'll start talking about the Dakota Access from this weekend, because that was just a lot of cool things and a lot of like complicated things. So we'll come back, we'll talk a little bit about that. But let's do a little what's going on at JP Lime and Oddball Magazine. You want to go first or second, sir?
Why don't you go first, but give me 1 second, okay?
I should go first, but give you 1 second. All right, I'll do that. I can make that happen.
All right. So what are you going to do right now? You going to go?
Well, no, whichever way you would like it, my friend.
I think you should go first. I just think before you do it,
all right. So what's going on?
It didn't work.
The JP Lime and Oddball Magazine universe.
It didn't work.
All right.
I was trying to get the breaking news thing, and it didn't work.
I figured that's where you're going, and it's a really good sound effect. So I appreciate the effort on your behalf.
My DJ's broken.
I broke my DJ. All right, so this week and next week, and what's going on at the JP Lime universe, you can find us at jplimeproductions.com. We are your world with a crunchy hip-hop center. We like to talk about music, entertainment, movies, TV, politics for sure, and that's where I was at, obviously, last week. I put up Standing Rock, Steadfast Against the Wind last Friday, right before even more stuff went down. Obviously plenty had already gone down. So I kind of broke down what was the history of the conflict a little bit. Some of what it's really about, why we would actually be fighting so aggressively for it, and what you might have to do in order to win it and going forward. So at the time, there was a lot you could do for donating. So there was also a lot of links in there for people to follow as the struggle progressed over the weekend, and who supplies you could send. There were Amazon wish lists going on. Our friends Dark Matter had their own fund drive that they were doing, so there was a lot of that. So I provided a bunch of links for that. Interestingly enough, Amazon stopped delivering a whole bunch of stuff over the weekend. In fact, my order is still they keep sending me an email every couple of days. Right now, it's a blizzard in North Dakota, so it's a different issue. But this was like a week ago. They wouldn't. Yeah. I'd put on something on the Amazon wish list, and they just kept sending me emails like, "Hey, it's delayed. It's on its way, but it's delayed." So I'm pretty sure Amazon stopped a lot of the deliveries, but that's neither here nor there. So that was my article last week. I'm going to drop a little piece tomorrow too on just kind of summing up where we're at after the weekend, and why it's a small victory, but a victory for sure. But nobody knows what's going to happen coming up. So I'm going to do a little piece tomorrow, just kind of summing that up. In addition, we got the Oddball Show with Jus Enuf that's going on right now, and you can listen to it all week just by pressing play at jp9productions.com. We're going to have our weekly Oddball coming up, and today, our friend Scholar, who is freshly back from Las Vegas, dropped a piece called Tommy Trevor Charlemagne Gate, Just What the Doctor Ordered, talking about Tommy Lahren and on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and then she went and did something with Charlemagne the God. I forget, on the morning show. But he did a little piece on what that all meant and the significance of it in our music and TV world. So check that out at jp9productions.com, your home with a crunchy hip-hop center. Yeah.
Word. I'll be up second. Spaceman chiming in.
Please do.
First of all, this show is dope. Thanks for having me. Jus Enuf, your stuff is dope. So I just want to say, just keep
Thank
going,
you.
man. It's really good. And hope to work with you in the future. I'm saying, especially on the photography joint.
Nice.
On that note, I've been going hard on this photography. It really has become a passion. I think I've always loved visual things, but right now that's just becoming a way I want to express it. So for the past, 6 to 9 months, while I have not been writing my usual articles or putting down the poems and pictures, I have been going hard, becoming a beast with this camera. If you want to see some photos, check me out at 1981 and Co. That's 1981 and CO on Instagram. I'm putting a lot of photos up there, and I'm hoping to get a website soon, either in affiliation with JP Lime or my own, but definitely in conjunction, that'll show some of this art and start selling it. I've been making art, paintings, sculptures, and pretty soon the world's going to see it. So,
Hell yeah.
Word.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Definitely check that out on Instagram at 1981ANDCO, 1981 and Co.
And sorry to add more, my fault. There will be like also a video series coming soon. I'm in some work with that.
Yeah, on it. On the grind. Mr. Wright, what's going on in the Oddball universe? Mr. Wright.
Bueller.
You know what? I'm trying to mess with my audio a little bit. Can you hear me?
Well, no, we couldn't a second ago. So let's not mess with it while we're live.
Yeah, well,
why don't... All right. You do you.
All right, I'm going to do me. Breaking news, my computer is broken. So we had a good week at Oddball Magazine. We had a poem by this person. His name is Randall. That was his name. He's from New York. That's poem by Randall with work from Ira Joel Haber. Check out the poem. You can just go to Oddball Magazine and check it out. It's a poem by Randall. Got really good reviews on Twitter. A lot of people liked it. Some raw shit. Before that, we had Jagged Thought 152, Only Lovers Make It Out Alive, which was an acrostic poem I did where I wrote Only Lovers Make It Out Alive on the bottom, and then I filled it in with rhymes throughout the whole thing. It's weird, but it worked, and it was kind of cool. Then we have It's All One Thing with James Van Loy, and he wrote something called Funny, Strange, Not Funny, Ha Ha, which is basically his take on what's going on in politics, as he usually does. He's a very political dude. And then we had The Underground Garden, I Respond with Poetry and a Smile. Basically, that's Liza Zayas and how she is dealing with, when people come up to her and are aggressive, she says, I respond with poetry and a smile, which is dope. Don't cross Liza because she is liable to write you a new asshole because she's that good.
Write you a new asshole. That's dope.
And Janet Cormier, she wrote a really cool little small poem that I could fit on one shot on Instagram called Words and Excuses, which was dope. And then you had the twist of JP Lime with Standing Rock, Steadfast Against the Wind, which I still think is one of the best articles I've read on Standing Rock. It is so complete. There's so much history there. There's a lot of links. I mean, you do your research, man.
Well, thank you, man. I mean, it's important. I mean, that is something you hit on something important. When there's a temptation for any of us on social media to read quickly, to read headlines and to read little bits and pieces, and not, make sure that what we're reading actually has substance and is built off something. So, it's important when I'm putting together an article to make sure that I'm building enough pieces that make some sense, and I'm not just off other people's ideas and beliefs about what's happening. So, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a complicated, important struggle. So there was a lot to, there's a lot to explore.
Definitely. And that's what's going on. Also, we have the odds by Bill Harvey, and I'll read my poem, Jagged Thought 153, at the end of the program, called Existential Funk, which is kind of like I'm in an existential funk, and I was listening to Pete Rock at the same time. So,
Nice.
so that's kind of how I was rolling with that one. So yeah, that's what's going on in Oddball Magazine. You got to check us out, man. We are the dopest poetry magazine on the planet. www.oddballmagazine.com. That's us.
It's scientifically proven.
5 out of 7 people will agree it is a dope ass magazine.
5 out of 7. What happened to those other 2?
The other 2
they
are
don't know
not
shit.
connected to the internet.
We are J Pilar Productions and Oddball Magazine. Please come check us out at jpilarproductions.com and oddballmagazine.com, as well as our various social media networks, which we'll run through all that at the end.
Definitely, so much. We are plugged in, man.
Plugged in and on the grid. I don't know, is that good or bad? I don't know.
My electrical bill is sky high. That's how
my social media bill is sky high.
I owe Twitter a fortune.
My Twitter bill is super high. But speaking of which, let's talk a little Dakota Access here in the second half of our show. Twitter was my heroine this week. It was really, it's not in a car wreck kind of way, but like people on the ground were actually publishing information. A lot of it they could not, because the Morton County Sheriff's Department used cell phone and internet blocking technology, so that there was most of the camp you could not get a signal and you couldn't do anything on. There were a few select places, but the bits and pieces that you could were real live, like people on the ground reporting the news long before mainstream media got there. And that's been the case a lot with social media over the last half decade. But it was a real case with Standing Rock, because the mainstream media wasn't paying any attention, and there were people on the ground who were equipped and ready to do that. We'll talk a little bit more about the organization with the protests, but as far as communication, I found that awesome and fascinating, and there were some real great people to follow.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too. I mean, on Twitter, whenever something breaks, not like breaks like my computer when I was trying to play that soundbite, but like when something important is happening, you just don't turn to CNN anymore, because when I started getting plugged into the Dakota Access Pipeline standoff. I knew that I was there, but when the water protesters started blocking off that and started getting soaked and tear gas and Facebook Live had caught it, and I was watching it for about an hour and a half, just watching these protesters getting soaked in like 20-degree weather. I was like, okay, this is something that is incredibly hard to watch, but I have to watch this to see what happens if there's this standoff. But then I put on CNN. It was like,
no, there was nothing.
It was
nothing.
It was like and these protesters were being soaked, but they started these fires, so like they deserved it. And I'm like, what the fuck, that kind of thing. And I'm like, the CNN was being just not very. They did not give the Dakota Access Pipeline the attention that it deserved for what was happening on that day. They were talking about Donald Trump's political cabinet, and that's all they're talking about right now. They're not really giving. So you have to kind of go to Twitter, and you have to go to Reddit, and you have to go to all the actual the news sources that you like Democracy Now! And stuff. All the news sources that you had on your article, Prof. Those are the places you got to go to get the real information, or you can hear it firsthand on Twitter. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about.
I mean, and Facebook Live, like you were saying before. Like I watched the other day on what day? It must have been Thursday. I watched Unicorn Riot reported on they did a lockdown at a Wells Fargo in Minnesota, and I watched it live. I watched them do the lockdown live, and then watched. Wells Fargo had to come down with a letter that said they were going to go meet with tribal leaders, and that was like the final goal of the day for so it was like a successful protest. But I watched a protest live on Facebook. That's the new way, and it was awesome. Like that was real. That's how you get actual information to people rather than having to filter it through a TV network that's beholden to whatever kind of interest. And sometimes it's not even just the interest; it's just that it's entertainment. It's stupid. CNN is just stupid. They're not even opinionated. They're just dumb.
They're so opinionated. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right? I mean, what they do is they just put a whole panel of people together. CNN isn't. You get Fox, and then you get MSNBC, who are really the two sides, and then CNN is like the dancing monkey in the middle, reporting on one news story a day and pretending to put opinions at each other, but not really doing any real reporting,
It's so ridiculous. It's horrible.
Yeah,
but the flip side of that coin is that we have awesome social media networks now that can report on the ground, real citizen reporting, and not even just citizen reporting. Unicorn Riot is all volunteer, but they're an organized news reporting agency. So all this stuff is rising up in the wake of terrible mainstream media. It's pretty awesome.
There's even a wider trend that we're seeing. We're starting to and hopefully it happens. Hopefully we finally trust ourselves and our peers and our own ability to actually research facts, as opposed to just receiving information all the time.
Yeah,
right. I find myself now if I'm looking at something and it's on the television, I'm less inclined to believe it now, which is kind of weird because when I was younger, I used to look at the TV they're definitely telling me the truth, but now I'm like, whoa, they're not telling me the truth. Where I have to go somewhere else to find it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is so crazy.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. So there was a lot of great reporting on the ground throughout this process. And as everybody knows, on Sunday, the Army Corps of Engineers ruled that they were not going to allow the easement, which would do the final piece of drilling under Lake Oahe or the Missouri River, which was a big victory. It was really the only legal piece left that could stop it in its tracks, which is why the federal government stepped in. And before that, the Obama administration had done very little to assist in this process, and they stepped in at the last moment. So, whatever kind of credit you'd like to give there, that was the last legal battle that could be fought to stop it in its tracks. Now, since then, or not even since then, right at the moment, right afterwards, an hour later, Energy Transfer Partners decided or announced that they were going to just continue along their path, and that they had no intentions of rerouting or doing anything else, which is really logical because it's already 85% built. The biggest victory about this is that rerouting it and rebuilding it is a financial disaster. It would just kill it for them. That's really what this fight is about. Is that if you do that, then they have to. If they have a bunch of contracts pre-sold for January 1st that they're going to default on if they don't finish before then. So it's big pressure on them for that. So that's really what the next step of the fight is about. But it was a great weekend. It was really something to watch.
It really shows a small victory for the people, I guess. And that's, you don't see many victories for the people and for peaceful protests. And I think that's probably what you can take away from this is that protesting does work, and when done right, it can change the world. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be a disaster when the Trump administration comes in and steamrolls this whole thing, or if this will get some legs and offer a bigger movement. But while it's a big victory right now for the people, there's still a lot of work to go, but I mean, it's got to be monumental for protesters. And I think that's for social activism, which I think is commendable.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, there's a couple different pieces to that. First of all, there's still plenty of work that can be done. Glad you brought that up. As far as getting banks that are invested in the Dakota Access to divest from them. So that's what all the lockdowns that you've been seeing all week across the country, San Francisco and Minnesota and all different kinds of places. They have been trying to force these banks just through pressure and people taking their, closing their accounts in these banks.
Yep.
Wells Fargo being a big one, but trying to pressure them to divest from the pipeline, which obviously would also have a similar financial effect of just shutting it down. So that is work that can still be done. You can still watch and support those movements and even join those movements. There was one in Providence. I haven't seen one pop up in Boston yet, but it doesn't mean it hasn't happened. One was a couple days ago in Providence, though. So if you're feeling like you want to get active and you want to go do something, you can join those protests. So follow Unicorn Riot is a big one to follow to keep up on those protests, or take your money out of banks that are investing in Dakota Access. That's a simple citizen action that you can take. And you can call your banks and say, hey, why are you invested in this? And you can call your elected officials and say, hey, pressure, take some action to defend the people as the Obama administration did, at the very end.
And it's cold outside, Prof. You can donate clothes and supplies, and there's all sorts of fundraisers, including Dark Matters. I guess I would, if you would like to donate money to Dark Matters GoFundMe, all the proceeds are going right to giving supplies to the water defenders. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a lot of that, especially going on this past weekend. There are still people staying. Some of the veterans that left. We'll talk about the veterans in a second. We cannot leave this program without talking about that because I thought that was
incredible.
But there's still some of the veterans and the water protectors are still there. The tribal leader, Archibald, I don't want to screw his name up, asked everybody to leave and go home and said thank you very much, and that or people that did not live there. So they're hoping that there'll be enough there left to I don't know, still stand in the way of Dakota Access, but a lot have left. But there are still a lot, and they're in the middle of a North Dakota blizzard. So I do believe there's still fundraising efforts going on. Like I said, I know that some of the ones on Amazon are being kind of stalled out by, they put in a order that they're supposed to evacuate yesterday. So I don't know if legally they're stopping some of those deliveries, but in either case, definitely check out Dark Matters GoFundMe because they will know.
There's some.
We like them a lot.
Yeah, Dark Matter is great. There are so many factors going on. It's man versus man, first of all. Big business versus the people. And man versus nature. So it's crazy. So there's a big blizzard going on in North Dakota as we speak. There's people out there on the front lines protesting. And we are sitting, and we're lucky to be sitting indoors. And it's cold out, and it's cold out where I am. I don't know, but it's freezing out there. So if you get some money, or you want to fund Dark Matters GoFundMe, I think that's where you put your money this month anyway, to a good cause that helps out, get supplies for the water protectors and. Yeah, it's just a good thing to do. It's a $5, $10. You can just donate, and and you can check out Dark Matters GoFundMe at darkmatter.com/GoFundMe.com.
Yep, we'll throw that up in the pertinent links again. The other thing too that's really important to do now, especially now that there's this feeling of victory, is to continue to stay invested, attention-wise in the pipeline, because like we've been saying, it's not over. They're planning on continuing to drill. I don't know what kind of shape that takes, but keeping your focus on it, especially when mainstream media, in 2 days decides that it's no longer important.
Yep, exactly.
So we're in my article tomorrow, I'm going to be putting in some of those same links, but then a couple of additional ones of people to be following the official Sacred Stone campsite from the tribe, other official sites and other reporters from our Native American population that'll be reporting on this nonstop. So I'm going to be put some of those links in tomorrow, but it's really important to stay focused on this and to not let it disappear, because that's the strongest piece that an organization or that a corporation like Dakota Access has in their pocket is people not paying attention.
Yeah. More often than not, people people have very short attention spans.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. There's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot in our faces, you know?
For just to bring it home, Gronkowski got injured, and he's out for the season. He's having back surgery. But the new news is now that the Red Sox just got a brand new pitcher. So it's old news. So I guess if you can learn anything from this, just how history repeats itself, don't let history repeat itself. Stay vigilant. Stay on this story, because it's going to keep on developing, and they're going to be shiesty. They're going to do something in the snow. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of do something while, just roll over someone while they're sleeping. Just don't sleep. Don't sleep on this story. Keep vigilant, people.
It's true. I do want to bring up one more thing, but before about this. But before I do, I've been kind of like shutting Space and Jus out. Don't let me do that, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
So the big thing I do want to say is the Veterans Stand and Veterans Stand for Standing Rock was an amazing movement. It was so there were already 6,000 water protectors there, which is really cannot be. We cannot leave that fact to. They were doing a lot of work long before veterans got there. They were only there a couple of days, but the idea that these veterans got together, and it was a couple of them together. Wes Clark, who is the son of Wes Clark Sr., the general, was one of the big organizers. He's a social activist. I know he's like a screenwriter and does a couple other things, but he was one of the big organizers. Michael A. Wood Jr., who's a Marine Corps and a former Baltimore Police Department police officer. And then L'Oreal Blackshaw, who wasn't on Twitter, so we weren't able to see her as much, but she's an Army sergeant, and she's a descendant of 2 Native American tribes. So those are the 3 that organized this huge effort, and they were expecting about 500 people, which would have been a pretty significant
Still would have helped a lot, yeah.
They had to stop their signups at 2,000, and they said that they estimated about 4,000 people still showed up.
That's incredible. That's incredible. That's a credit to social organizing, which I think is incredible. And organizing.
And you are veterans. Like it was, and the motivation on their behalf of there was a video. There are a couple of videos to definitely check out that'll be put in pertinent links. Is one from Michael Wood, where he does his last video before they deploy. And he talks about their mission, and he wants to be, maybe that veteran stand. And there's been a little bit of talk about this in the coming week that they maybe will go to Flint. That veteran stand could be a continuing movement. That veterans, because we respect them and because they are sworn to uphold the Constitution against any oncomers, foreign or domestic, that because of that oath, that they are invested in these kind of struggles of the people's struggles. So they think maybe that the movement will continue. So there's a video to watch from him where he's talking about their mission and how he wants it to be a continuing movement and how he would like them to be a unit that never fires a single shot. That they go and they protect, and they do
nice.
They contribute in protecting kind of ways. That's what they're supposed to do, and they want to be the old school cavalry, which it's just it was an amazing image to me. And then the other video to definitely see that is like it's emotional. It's amazing. So at the after the announcement came on Sunday night, the veterans, their whole action was intended to start or in an organized way on Monday morning. And so one of the things they did, they met with the tribal leaders, and Wes Clark Jr. gave a little speech, and he begged forgiveness of the tribe for the things that we as Americans, and they especially as military, had done. And it's just an emotional and awesome video to watch. That it's obviously symbolic, but it's I don't know. That's a great thing that they plan to do that. That is something that they were really in touch with the struggle of the people that were already there. So there's a lot to watch, and definitely check out all the social media involved in this. But those are 2 videos to make sure that you do not miss.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Veteran Stand is a really powerful organization. They deserve a lot of credit, and they deserve our admiration, not just for what they've already done in giving their service to our country, but in then taking another further step once they're already out of active service to find a way to protect us. So I thank them, and I think that was just awesome to watch.
Yep. Dude, absolutely. I mean, it's an incredible movement. I hope it continues. I mean, with the I mean, when some when people like veterans get involved, they're respected. They in what you said, they uphold the Constitution, and when they find that there's something that there's an injustice and they stand for it, then I think that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It is. So, again, I'll put that in the pertinent links. Veteran Stand, they have a Twitter account of their own. There's a couple already this week that fake ones that are trying to screw with their movement. So I'll put the official one is just Veteran Stand. Right. So I'll put that in there. I'll also put in Wes Clark and Michael Wood's Twitter handles. But all of this, follow these people. It's social media is awesome when you plug into the right people.
Yep.
So
yeah, is there any way I could just interject real quick?
Please do, man. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Like we live in this time where Prof and Jason, I think you guys mentioned it, that the news. I mean, we get the real news from social media, which is really interesting. The mainstream media isn't going to cover any of this stuff. They just basically jumped on the bandwagon after this, victory and whatnot. But the thing that's crazy to me, and I think all of us need to be kind of vigilant about, is fake, fake websites and fake news stories that incite rage and certain things in people and cause emotional disturbance in us. It's like we really gotta be aware of do our due diligence in fact checking things.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy now. It's like.
It was a huge thing in this election, and it existed obviously before that, but it rose to great prominence on both sides. There's a really good article actually the New York Times did on it, that they just put up two feeds, and it's like, I don't know, 8-9 topics. It's exhaustive, but it's like They just put up a liberal side and a Republican side, and it's all sites that we would recognize, Breitbart and all kinds of stuff on the right, and then US Uncut and all the other ones that you would recognize from your liberal side, and just put them side by side, and just a whole stream of their feed, and it was pretty disgusting in a way, but powerful to watch. It's just all this that stuff had happened, and it grew to such a pinnacle right before this election. So yeah, it's and that goes even beyond that kind of that circus arena of the ones that you can totally tell. Even regular articles that you're reading from sources that you think you might trust, check it out. Make sure that the things you're reading are not just, I have somebody's opinion in front of me.
Totally.
They're telling me a fact based on a fact, not a fact based on somebody's opinion.
Right.
So.
Or just totally
that's really important
to get you to bite. You know what I'm saying? And they just argue
totally.
Nothing and make hours and show you garbage commercials.
Read Prof's article on Standing Rock. That's what you gotta do.
No, I appreciate everybody's it's a phenomenal article, and don't feed into clickbait. I mean, please.
Totally.
It's easy, man. It really is. It'll catch you. It's well designed marketing. It's something fascinating if you're a marketing person, because it's designed with wording and pictures and all, everything about it is designed to catch you.
Yeah, totally.
Which is
all of a sudden the computer's going to start acting funny afterwards. So careful what you click on.
Jason, I got to tell you, that's not the site that did that to you.
All right.
I think alientitties.com did that.
Oh, damn.
That's what was on. Last time I visited your house, that was up on the browser. I didn't want to say anything.
It was nonprofit. It's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit.
Alientitties.org.
It's a nonprofit. .net.
Alientitties.gov.
.edu.
And we're learning.
Hey, it's science. That's what it is.
It's science.
The truth is out there.
I've done about 1,000.
We're coming down to the end of the Oddball Show hour here. We've had a great time, and it's been great to both talk about Dakota Access in depth and really learn a lot about Jus. So I'm glad we got a chance to hit on both. Sometimes we run away with one or the other.
It's a good mix because Jus is we could talk for Jus for another half hour, and we could talk about the Dakota Access Pipeline for another half hour, and then it would be a 2-hour long show, and then we'd all be exhausted. We'd all need more coffee. but we had a good conversation with Jus. Definitely. Thank you for being on the program, man. And
thanks for having me.
When that new album Jus Enuf drops, you gotta come back on, and we'll play some more of it. Definitely. And yeah.
So be sure to go check out Jus Enuf on SoundCloud, on the various networks we just mentioned, and the ones that are mentioned in the pertinent links. But definitely check out Braille, Words You Can Feel. That is a dope song for your either Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Go check it out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, Jason, you want to take us out in a minute with Jagged Thought once we say our pleasantries and goodbyes?
Yeah.
Is that amenable to you, sir?
Yep.
All right, cool. So, the Oddball Show is a collaboration between JP Lime Productions and Oddball Magazine. Please do come check us out. You can find us on the JP Lime end on Instagram and Twitter at JP Lime, at JP Lime Productions on Facebook. You can find me at Dr. Prof Esquire, Scholar_JPL on Twitter is our buddy Scholar there. Space, what is your Twitter and Instagram handle?
At SpaceJPL on Twitter, and Instagram is at 1981 and Co.
Perfect.
1981 ANDCO.
So come visit us at those various social media networks. You can find the Oddball Show on, like I said, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, on the other networks we just mentioned. It's broadcasted right now at our Facebook, our Twitter, and our home site. But find it on iTunes and Stitcher too, and give us a review. It really would help us as far as knowing how we're doing on the podcasting end. It's a lot of fun, but we want to have a little bit of feedback.
That prof guy's really intelligent, but that oddball guy, he's a real dipshit.
That prof guy just talks for like 20 minutes. I'm so sick of it.
That dipshit with his stupid voice, just like to strangle him.
That dipshit is at Man the Storm on Twitter and at Oddball Magazine. It is the dopest poetry magazine on the East Coast. So definitely come check it out.
And also on Instagram as at Oddball Magazine. So yeah, that's us. That's where you can find us, and we put up poetry every single day. With a bunch of awesome columnists and good people who are part of Oddball Magazine. And shout out to Chad Parento, who is the driving force behind it as well. He's a great guy. We miss him on the podcast. Hopefully he'll be up to be back on the show pretty soon.
I totally didn't do a Chad or Scholar in absentia in the intros. I really feel bad now. Man, I didn't even think about that.
Do you want to just shout him out now?
Oh. Scholar! Chad!
That's
my shout out.
That's a good shout out.
This has been the Oddball Show. Jason, please take us out.
All right. This is my my Jagged Thought of the day. It's Jagged Thought 153, Existential Funk. And I was listening to Pete Rock when I played it. So can you hear that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, just be careful. It might compete with your mic. I see what you're trying to do, and I like it. It might compete with your mic. So you try it. Do
all right, let's try it out. All right. Jagged Thought 153, Existential Funk. Free prose. How's that sound so far?
Good.
All right, good. Tuesday shall come, whether with me or without me. I'll be a relic tied to the God Almighty, tied to his feet to grovel politely. My feet long to the beat, stone threes, ready to read, ready to breathe, ready to see. Gabba, gabba, hey, medicate me. I'm a fool who needs more schooling, no fooling. Put away the bruise, rebel to ruin. Turn the turntables, you don't know what you're doing. My mind is blank, my ears are dank buds. Smoke in my ears got me hearing Elmer Fudd and reruns. Got me gasping for air and tight lungs. Running from something I can't unrun. Yeah, Gabba got me down, got me thinking, what now? Existential funk, get down. Get down. Where am I in this 3-ring circus? Got a 3-ring binder full of blank pages, neatly collated, empty blank on the surface. What's the purpose? Existential funk got me down. Get down. I look like an aged orangutan, peace through pain, as old as Wu-Tang Clan, but I get down with the science, cause that's my man. Superman climbed into my ear canal, got me wigging again. Yeah, so why are we here, P-Rock? What you got me vibing to? Tick-tock, erase the clock, 1s and 2s, bring bruises, skipping each stroke of the pen. The rhyming idiot running circles again, got me OCDing with the 1-2-10. Thinking 1-2-10, spin my ring 37 times and settle in again. Yeah, I'm in a funk. Get down, an existential funk, come around again. I don't know, keeping in time. No, don't end the song like that. I'm in an existential funk, yeah, and there's no turning back. P-Rock, why you got me rhyming on time again, shining like a diamond in the hearts of men, like Tupac said, cloudy and strung out again and grab an iron. Yeah, pump and jump, bite the body. Yeah, love the gun so deadly, Fat Five Freddy. Got me ready to rock steady. Draw strings of vocals like Mario Andretti on the Momo. Tropical Quest got me in replay mode. No locomotive, no loco, no vocals, just instrumental. Well, you got me dizzy again, Pete Rock. You messing with the mental. Ill presidential, far from centered. Man of letters, capitalizing each word I write. No man can do it better. Sick with this poetry shit. Illegit, rhyming eccentric with 2 left feet. Dancing to the beat. Got 2 slit wrists. Got hell in my head and heaven beside me. Like Alice in Chains, I need to be free. Free me. Listening to Pete Rock. Listening to 1-2 steady freeze. The beats got me bruised. Bleeding heart. Pen ink frozen. Licorice rhymes. Yeah, my mind shines like a diamond. Mental like the shining. Like the rhyming on time to the beats supplied. Scratch it up. Each groove in the record. Got the jury sequestered, but the jury's in. And I'm guilty of this. That existential funk got me dizzy again. I'm in an existential funk. Who am I? Where am I? What do I do now? I'm in an existential funk. Get down. I'm in an existential funk. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. And that was Jagged Thought 153. Existential funk.
All right.
From Pete Rock, Peacementals. And this has been the Oddball Show. Thank you very much for listening. And remember, be kind to one another. Peace. We're out of here.
This is the Oddball Show, a podcasting collaboration with JP Live Production.